Welcome back to the Gay Racing Podcast. Slightly new and improved. Unlike the NextGen car, we're here.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's not what I was saying at yesterday's Martinsville race. I'll tell you what. But we look a little bit different. We look a little bit, more shiny. Just everything. It's just nice.
A little hotter than normal.
Alex actually sounds good.
Yeah, if my voice sounds like crisp, yeah, a lot has changed. I had to go away for a week so we could get hotter, and then my voice would come back more clear. That's what happened, Zach.
Well, I'll tell you what, and yeah, God, I missed you so much last week. It was just not. I was so dead on last week's episode. I just wasn't the same.
The vibes were off.
We have to give a shout out to our Patreon members because we wouldn't be able. So we're paying for this thing called Restream, and it's just these nice graphics, and you'll see some other cool features later on. But we couldn't do it without the Patreon support that we've gotten so far this year. I mean, it's been incredible. So thank you guys so much if you sub to us on Patreon. You guys made Alex have a better voice. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah. But yeah, Patreon, if you're a subscriber there, you did this. If you're watching on video,
we're putting it back into the podcast.
And listening on audio, it sounds better. So yeah, you're helping fund the podcast and improve it. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah, you got to put that money back where it belongs. But
yes.
So today on the Gay Racing Podcast, we're going to talk about the NASCAR race at Martinsville, all the Hendrick Motorsports, celebration of their 40th anniversary. It was pretty cool storybook stuff. And that's kind of all we're talking about with NASCAR at Martinsville because there isn't much to talk about of the racing. However, Alex, the T certainly made up for it this week, right? I mean, that whole Twitter spat between Denny Hamlin and SMI, Marcus Smith. We're going to get into that.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah, and there's some more NASCAR T in there and IndyCar as well. So, yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and get into it with Martinsville, NASCAR in Martinsville. William Byron gets another, I'm so sick of this. He gets another really historic Hendrick Motorsports win, right? He won the Daytona 500, which was on the date where they opened, Hendrick Motorsports opened, 40 years to the day. He won the 300th Hendrick Motorsports race, I believe, at Texas last year. He won Darlington Throwback Race in the 75th year in the paint scheme that was ran in the 50th year. Right? It's just he gets all these really big wins for Hendrick. And Kyle Larson has not gotten that moment yet with Hendrick. And it's made me really jealous, not going to lie. Yeah, he hasn't gotten a big moment like that. I mean, 10-win season, but still, I'm just jealous.
Yeah, William Byron, he's really coming into his own right now. And just a year ago, I mean, he had an impressive year last year, but we were saying, he's just kind of looking into these wins. But again, I feel like this is another win for William Byron where it feels like he really did earn it because he didn't luck into it. He kind of was the best car all race long. And it's a lot of respect. And he's racking up those wins. I believe this was his 12th or 13th career win. He already has more wins than Ryan Blaney, for example. It's pretty hard to believe, but he's going to rack them up really fast if he keeps up at this pace and becoming another historic Hendrick Motorsports driver.
He was able to pass cars on a day where that was really hard to pass, right? And that's something I kind of noticed to get a little analytical about the race. It's remember Christopher Bell? He got at Phoenix, he kept losing track position. But his car was just able to pass. And even in dirty air. And I believe Bell started kind of farther back on the grid at Phoenix. I'd have to double check that. But Byron similarly was the one Hendrick car that didn't qualify in the top 10, ironically enough. And yet he was the one that was able to just pass the most, without, it seems like the most easy, the easiest. Jesus, the easiest, right? He passed the easiest. I'm just great with my words today. Oh my God. I'm just so excited about all this new stuff. But that's just, I think teams, I assume instead of focusing on making your car fast, make it able to pass in dirty air, which they've been used to dirty air for a long time now. But it's just something I noticed. So But yeah, I
And,
mean, he passed Chase Elliott like it was nothing.
another thing with William Byron, he sucked at Martinsville last fall. He almost didn't make the championship 4 because he was running like 17th the entire race. This is a huge turnaround for the 24 car specifically at Martinsville. Just was terrible and nearly was so close to missing the Champ 4 last year just because of that. And look, if they are nailing things that they struggled on last year, it's just going to make them stronger.
Oh yeah. I mean, 3 wins in the first 8 races is on 3 different track types. That's incredible.
Yep.
Like they are a scary, scary team. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's also kind of interesting because it's like the next gen is all about parity, right? But it's not. I mean, it's another Hendrick win. Hendrick has won 4 races. JGR has won 3 races, and the biggest contestant for who was going to win if one of those winners didn't win was just another JGR Hendrick car, right? I mean, it's, you know, the trend continues. And you know, this race, obviously a huge win for Byron, the 40th anniversary win, or the 40th anniversary celebration was at Martinsville, of course. And Martinsville is at the center of Hendrick history. You know, most people know that. And I just love the story of it, of course, because the story is, you know, Hendrick was going to close their doors as a race team in their first season. But Martinsville was going to be their last race, but then Jeff Bodine in the 5 car goes out and wins, right? And NASCAR history has, imagine what NASCAR history would look like if that didn't happen. That one little race, right?
Yeah.
Because Hendrick Motorsports is the most successful team in NASCAR. They are NASCAR, right? I mean, we all grew up watching Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson dominate and kick ass. Now we're watching Kyle Larson kick ass, and Chase Elliott's the biggest star in the sport. Like Dale Jr. at one point. Like Hendrick Motorsports has the biggest history in NASCAR, period. You can't argue that. The numbers back it up. Most wins, most championships. Yep. And, you know, I'm going to get into it later, but it just frustrates me when people are kind of like calling this a conspiracy, right? It's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a conspiracy because Hendrick Motorsports, we've seen throughout history how good they are. And sure, Hendrick Motorsports, they probably have more weight, and their opinion probably is a stronger opinion within NASCAR as a whole. But it's like that doesn't mean it's a conspiracy for them to like win a storybook race like this. It's kind of like how Penske owns IndyCar. It's not a conspiracy when a Penske car wins over there or wins. There's last year the Indy 500. Like,
right.
It's not a thing you can really do in motorsports.
No,
it's not a thing. But Zach, they've won Martinsville the last 5 years in a row in either one or both of the races.
Yeah.
It should be celebrated what they've done, especially at Martinsville. And for me, Fox did go a bit overboard, and we can go into that if you'd like as well.
Well, they go overboard with everything. Fox is awful. Like, if anything, I get that frustration, like always cutting to the Hendrick, you know, turn 2 little watch party they had or whatever was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a Fox thing. Fox just sucks. Like, leave Hendrick out of this.
And I just think if the coverage was better, this anniversary hype wouldn't have felt as dreadful, because NBC probably would have focused more on the actual race, tried to make it more exciting, even if it was pretty dull, and they would have brought the race up, the opinion of it on TV a lot higher than it turned out to be. But when you have Fox Sports just constantly talking about this anniversary and not really showing any of the actual positives of the race or any strategies going on, it really does dampen it. And I understand why there's frustration about it on social media and just in general.
I do too.
But yeah.
I just think some of it gets a little bit disrespectful. And also because, to be fair, it was kind of relevant to the race. I mean, these Hendrick cars are all running in the top, 10.
Like, finished 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And it's like, and again, that's not conspiracy. All 4 of those drivers have won at Martinsville since 2020. Like, they're good at Martinsville. Like, oh, shocker. Like, what? Like, and it's just, it's just so disrespectful. right? Like they should be celebrated. Because I've seen people on Twitter like saying, this isn't fair. This is clear favoritism. The other teams don't get this kind of treatment. Like someone brought up that when Penske ran the throwback scheme with the Joey Logano last year, celebrating Team Penske's first win, the 50th anniversary of it, right? And that's cool and all, but that's not on the same scale. One throwback paint scheme is not on the same scale as the biggest team in NASCAR running 4 special paint schemes at their most successful track, the most successful any team has been at any track ever, and all 4 cars are running good.
And
It's
to
not the
follow
same.
up on that, Team Penske was celebrating their 6,000th start across all of motorsport this past weekend. And I saw some frustrating comments about that. Like, well, why isn't Fox hyping that up?
Well,
But
they did mention it.
Mike Joy still mentioned it.
He still
And
mentioned
like,
it. But
it's
like
not,
what
but the thing is like, Penske wasn't going all in on that celebration the way Hendrick was.
right.
I
And
think
why
that's
would
the
you?
difference for it. And it's like Hendrick had all of their staff that are normally not at the track every week and all their families there. So it is a big deal. But at the same time, yeah, Fox doesn't need to be hyping it up the way they are. Oh, we have a hat change here. Zach now has a hat on. What's your hat say, Zach?
It's not fit on my head because my head's big. Oh, this hat says Hendrick Motorsports.
You need
I
a big hat.
I figured I might as well put it on while I simp for Hendrick.
Hmm.
Because also, like, forgot what I was saying. It was something about Penske. No, because like, I mean, someone was saying like on Twitter, someone on Twitter was saying that it's dumb how they're only celebrating Hendrick because Hendrick probably paid Fox to, do all this coverage. Yes, when you pay somebody for a service, that service is expected. Yes, that is how that
Yeah.
works. Because I mean, it's an obvious. They've put a lot of marketing into it because it makes sense. I mean, I was looking for red shirts last night, a Hendrick shirt. I mean, it's cool. I'm gonna buy those die casts, right? Like one throwback scheme doesn't even compare to 4 ruby red paint schemes, a whole turn 2 little party. So
Yeah.
I just think the disrespect it's disrespectful.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I posted a tweet saying, Fox is kind of covering this race as if it's NASCAR's anniversary, which we just came off NASCAR's 75th. It kind of felt like they were covering it as if it was the entire sports anniversary, not just a team. Because we keep saying, it was very overblown. And that tweet got a lot of traction. I have not read the replies. I don't even want to know. But like people are very frustrated, and like we said, kind of rightfully so. But something
Yeah.
that I think we should be more frustrated about,
Oh
and
my God.
everyone is frustrated, is the short track package. Once again, we've talked about this damn package far too many times.
Everyone
But here,
has.
but here we are again.
Oh my God.
Another short track race
You
was
know what
not
I'm tired of,
good.
Alex?
What's that?
I'm tired of Denny Hamlin getting on his podcast explaining why the next gen racing sucks every single week. It sounds like a broken record. I'm
Yeah.
so sick of it, but but he's right. He's right every single time.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm not getting into it. It's driving me crazy. And that it's just like, how long is this going to take for something to change, if that's even possible? Because I think I hate the next gen car. It's just when I watch Xfinity on Saturday and I watch guys go, they wash up the track and then they, cut it back to get a good like run off the corner to set up a pass. Like, and then like actual bump and runs happening. And then we go to Sunday. It's just disappointing. It's so disappointing. Like
For sure.
Martinsville used to be the best track on the schedule.
And it was just, you would go to Martinsville and you knew you were going to have a good race. But
Yeah.
now this was the worst race of the year. I don't think you can dispute that. I saw some people saying Coda was worse. We strongly disagree.
Coda had a 4-way battle for the lead at like the beginning of stage 3.
Richmond and Phoenix, sure, they were pretty dull, but it's like nothing happened at Martinsville.
Nothing.
Nothing.
The most exciting part
know,
of the race was that green flag cycle.
in defense of Fox, there was nothing else to talk about besides the anniversary, right?
I mean,
But
like, I bet there were some battles in the back, but you're right. There
yes.
weren't any like major storylines. They could have created some, be like, wow, they did talk about Todd Gilliland a little bit. Like, Todd Gilliland's having a good run, but like, let's talk about the people who aren't having good days.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It it's frustrating, especially as you said, Zach. Xfinity puts on another banger.
oh my
Again,
God, that was a great
it's
race.
just why why? Like, I don't even know what I want to say because the Xfinity race is always solid wherever they go for the most part. Just use those cars. They're perfectly good.
They look like the street models somewhat.
Yeah, like
You can make the bodies a little bit different. Are we just going back to the Gen 6 car now? Like, Gen 6 with composite material. That's all we need. I mean, I feel like the next gen is just the overcomplication of the stock car, the idea of a stock car.
well, and we have to remember the Gen 7 was initially made to run like a super speedway everywhere. And they accidentally stumbled and made it good on the mile and a half tracks. It was
Yeah.
always made to create pack racing. That was their initial intention. And it's been tweaked since then when they accidentally made good mile and a half racing. So here we are, short tracks suck and they won't
It's like
give more horsepower.
it's like they
It's a
did all
very
that.
frustrating cycle.
You can tell the people that designed this car don't know what they're doing. Because, like, if you design a car for pack racing everywhere, what happens when you go to Martinsville? That happens. That
Hmm.
race, like, I think this. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think this next gen car is going to get a heavy revision at some point.
Yeah.
I would like to, like, I don't know why a stock car needs a diffuser, number one. I don't know why they need to be shifting. Apparently, they were going to test a transaxle, whatever that is, but they scrapped it at the
She's
Phoenix test.
trans?
She's trans?
For her. Oh my god.
I think these cars do need to be trans, actually. I think
Yeah.
they need
They'd
to
run
transition
better.
from being a next gen car to something else because
Yeah.
I will very much support them in their transition. I will call them new
Oh, me too.
pronouns. I will. Oh my god! Like, just please. That's so dumb.
So, so regarding this race and how there was just pretty much no passing, there was a post by AR_analytics, which is auto racing analytics on Twitter. They post this neat graphic every week that says had the final whatever number of laps run under green based on some sort of speed or whatever. This is where
Yeah,
they
like
the top
average lap
15 would have
time ish.
finished.
Like their average
Yeah.
speed. Yeah.
It's where they would have finished on the track. And this week's graphic from Martinsville, first all the way to 15th is pretty much from the start finish line at the exit of turn 4, all on that half straightaway. And that like never happens in these graphics. It was
Even
just
at like
yeah.
Richmond, they were pretty spread out on the track. I
Hmm.
think I might have to double check, but
Like it's kind of crazy that they're all just going the same exact speed. And sure, they can be pretty close in speed, but having what 36 cars run the exact same speed for 400 laps, nothing's going to happen because they're all just running the same speed. They can't get an advantage, and then they're doing the shifting, which my understanding is that makes it even harder to make any moves. It's
from
just
what
frustrating.
it makes it harder to make a mistake because if you do make a mistake, you just drop a gear,
Yeah.
and it catches yourself. And it's like this platform, a spec platform for NASCAR makes sense. I get it, but you need to make these cars really hard to drive to the point where it's basically all on the drivers to make up the difference, which is how NASCAR is marketed anyways, right?
Yeah.
But it needs to be all on the drivers to make up the difference, which they can't do because the tires aren't wearing, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, what are we doing?
Now, I haven't listened to the Teardown yet, Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi's podcast. But it sounds like Jeff Gluck was very upset, and he said that they need to have they just need to. They're in a crisis in order to save short track racing. NASCAR is, and I agree with that. They really need to have a whole revision of the whole short
Mm,
track thing.
kind of.
No, you don't
Yes.
agree?
Well, my thing is like, I wouldn't call it a crisis because what is the consequence if NASCAR doesn't fix these cars at short tracks? Because what there's
Well, it sounds like Richmond's probably pretty likely to lose a date next year. I don't know if I
Yeah,
would assume that's probably happening
it's
if, like,
just
the
like,
Easter race is going away, so
but you know how NASCAR wants super speedway racing everywhere, or like that idea. I get like, do they? I know they care about short tracks, but is it like that big of a deal to them? Because now we don't have a short track race until I guess kind of Gateway ish. It's kind of ish a short track,
yeah,
like not like a real short track, but
yeah,
like a flat track that uses that package. We don't have another race till like in June, so we're gonna
yeah,
have 2 months of racing where we can just ignore that problem. Is it so? That's my point. Is this a problem
right.
that can just be ignored, or how long can we ignore this problem? That's also kind of a question because
Like, do we wait till Gen 8? Like, that's probably so far away. Like,
I don't know. They do need
I
to do
feel like that'd
something.
be way too long, and then you're gonna lose all ticket sales at these tracks. I mean,
Yeah,
Bristol's probably gonna do good because they had a fluke tire situation.
that they won't see in September.
Yeah, but I don't know, like,
That's another
it's
thing.
very
Like
frustrating.
the fall Martinsville race last year, I
Was
think
good.
felt a lot better, but I almost wonder if that difference was coverage and playoffs. I wonder if that
It
was a
very well could have been because I thought that race was awesome,
and I
but
mean Blaney passed guys on the outside.
yeah,
So I don't I
I don't
mean,
know.
I don't know what the difference was, but
Yeah, and you wanted to mention a few other things about the Xfinity race because that was a good race, but there was some complaints about the style of racing that we saw in that
yeah, because
race.
what? I believe who drove the 43? I think that was Ryan Ellis that drove the 43. I might be wrong on that. He got wrecked on the last lap. Um, TV didn't show it, of course, but he got wrecked on the last lap, and I think Tommy Joe Martins went on, who's the team owner. He went onto Twitter to complain about how there's just a lack of respect in this series. We're wrecking these cars for no reason. I don't have the actual tweet in front of me. Oh, our series quote: "Our series is absolutely pathetic at the end of these races. Zero respect to anybody or the effort it takes to build these cars." Like talking about how these aren't just drivers wrecking cars; these are drivers wrecking the machines that these teams work on all week, right?
Right.
Um, and it's just like I definitely feel that. I feel that, but part of me is also just like, dude, it's a Martinsville.
Right. And
That's kind of disrespectful for me to say. Not gonna lie, I will admit that.
yeah, but I
It's
do think there is a line that has been crossed because we've talked about it before, Zach, that there is a lack of respect sometimes, specifically in Xfinity and trucks.
yeah,
That's like, intentional wrecking. We've seen it with Ty Gibbs, Noah Gregson. Most specifically, you could probably point to a lot. You could also look at Carson Hocevar, who's done some things. All three are in Cup now, by the way. But I feel like when you're at Martinsville, you should expect a lot
that's
of
kind of the
bumping and banging.
expectation.
Yeah,
And to be
but
honest, the biggest
still, I
wreck of
get
the
it.
night was caused because Brandon Jones ran out of talent and couldn't shift to gears. I mean, which I guess
Mm,
also could be kind of, everyone else behind them ran out of talent because they didn't slow down enough or whatever. But I mean, uh, so it's just like I get it, but you were gonna tear up cars in Martinsville anyways. I
yeah,
mean, let's be real. Like so, and also if and Timmy Hill was even upset at Stuart Friesen for the maybe he hated the rainbow car actually because Stuart Friesen had this beautiful rainbow truck. Oh my god, that might be my favorite paint scheme of all time. Well, I'll get to
yeah,
that.
it's
I'll come
pretty.
back to that in a minute. But Timmy Hill was mad at Stuart Friesen, and yes, if Stuart Friesen does something stupid, you probably should be mad at him because like you expect better from a veteran, right?
And Timmy Hill basically said that.
Yeah, but the truck series have had a pretty clean season past the super speedway races. They had a really clean Bristol race that I was impressed with. Las Vegas was good and clean. I've been impressed with the truck series at the start of the season to where,
Hmm.
you know what, you're going to Martinsville. All right, I'll let y'all tear some stuff up. I'm not going to be too mad about it
Well, yeah, it's a
because,
short
hey,
track. You're
you're
gonna tear some
entertaining
stuff up.
me. I mean, again, this is the one track where when they tear stuff up, it's just like, so that's my take on the whole thing. I just think this isn't really the track to bring that up. It's like now if this is
Yeah,
happening now when that happens at like a road course or like I don't know what other tracks do they really tear stuff up at. Like any
Well,
super speedways, kind of. I think it gets
that's
done.
a little, yeah. Road courses, though, is like you just need to have talent.
Yeah.
Because short tracks, there's not a lot of room. It's inevitable you're going to hit one another.
I mean, yeah, that big wreck only happened on that restart because again, it's Martinsville. There's nowhere to go. So,
Yeah.
but hey, I was very entertained. So, I mean, we were. Oh my god, I said that was like the race of the year, dude. Like, you can't miss this race. Like, I wasn't wrong. We saw Eric Almirola pull off a really cool win. The JGR cars and their little battle, their little civil war going on. That was cool. Congrats to Eric. It was cute. It was so cute seeing his kids. His daughter had a little stuffed bunny on the front stretch.
It was so cute.
It was so cute. Oh my god. So
and
yeah, good weekend.
Eric Almirola, his interview, he was yapping. I felt so happy for him because he probably thought he wasn't going to win a race again. But his interview was so long, but good for him. Like he had a lot to say. He did.
I think, yeah,
And
I think Fox let him.
He won the Dash for Cash too.
He did, yeah. But he's not racing at Texas, so he won't be eligible for it.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I mean, yeah. So Xfinity trucks, they got the product right now.
To go back to Cup real quick, you can't see that kind of racing in Cup right now because they can't do anything to make moves to just.
They can't even get close enough
or anything.
Yeah, they can't even get close enough to do a bump and run. And even these cars are so stable, like you see them hit each other so hard, and it barely does anything. Like if you get knocked out of the groove, just drop a gear and you're good.
And we saw at Bristol, if these cars had tire wear, that would maybe resolve some of the issues.
Yes.
With perfect handling and everything.
Because the cars just have too much grip. And now, again, we're Denny Hamlin right now, where we're explaining why the next-gen car sucks. The first 30 laps at Richmond was a great example of what racing can and should look like. But
this is episode 155. We've probably talked about the package at least half of those episodes, if not more.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
I don't know. Listen, this short track swing was a really good idea when they first started doing it in 2014. Because the idea was, you go to Bristol, and if someone wrecks you and makes you mad, well, next week it's Martinsville, and then you're going to pay them back. Or the order might have been a little bit different, but that's the idea, right? There's another short track next week for you to pay them back. Right? That's a really cool idea. I don't know if we ever saw it in practice, but it was a really cool idea.
Well, all three of these tracks, Richmond, Bristol, Martinsville, are all really close in the same region of the country. So if fans wanted to, they could try hitting all three in the same, like back to back to back.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if it's necessary anymore because it just kind of killed the momentum of the season. I think Bristol was still good for reasons outside of the package, but Richmond was dull. Martinsville wasn't good. It's just all the momentum we had at the start of the season just kind of gone, and now we're just like, now we're going to Texas.
3 of the last 5 races, all we have been able to talk about is the short track package, right? And then we had Bristol, and then Coda, which people didn't really like Coda that much either. Like we've had 4 races that weren't really that amazing, which is normal. It's fine, but it could be better. It should be better, rather. It should be better. Not could be, it should be better. And it has people looking forward to Texas Motor Speedway, which, to be fair, race last year wasn't that bad. Kind of. But it's just kind of crazy that I bet Texas, on the teardown, Jeff Gluck was joking about how Texas probably wants to be after Martinsville on the schedule every year now.
Yeah.
Make their race look like the Daytona 500, dude. Like, gosh. Which I am excited. We've only had 1 intermediate race this year at Vegas. Like, I'm excited for some intermediate racing. We have like 4 of the next 5 races are intermediates. So
one of them being Kansas. Kansas is a good race now. Like that's a banger.
Yep. Can't wait. Darlington and the 600 are coming up, and it's gonna be some good races, man. Talladega's after Texas, so hopefully some momentum gets put back into the season because we need it. I think everyone's burnt out on short tracks, burnt out on talking about the short track package.
Yeah,
probably burnt out on talking about the next gen car. Not that intermediates are perfect or anything, but it's pretty good. So I'm excited. So yeah, that's cool. Is it time to move on to the T?
Yeah, let's move on to the T.
Well, listen, I'm
So
gonna need y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to come in close for this one, because we have some serious tea to talk about. This is awful. I can't. We.
yeah,
So this restream lets us mess with the camera angles. If you're not watching our video, which you should be. I actually don't hate this. We need to get teacups.
oh, we do. Yeah,
Yes. So,
the tea.
Alexander, should I keep it like this or
Yes,
should I change back? I don't know if I
whatever
like
you
this.
want. I don't know.
I don't know. Y'all let us know if you like this camera angle because I don't know if I like it.
I mean, you get to see us up nice and close and personal here, so I don't know.
I don't know. I'm gonna go back. I need y'all to
Yeah,
see my
yeah. Well,
collection.
let us know, and we'll come back to that. We'll go back to that maybe. But so Denny Hamlin and SMI's Marcus Smith had a bit of a Twitter feud. They
At
spilled
1
some tea
a.m.
on each other, and
They were
oh
beefing.
boy, it got heated. So context: what caused this? A lot of people, I don't know if they know this. Sonoma Raceway was repaved, right? And we're going to Sonoma here in about 2 months or something. And they had a race there. I don't exactly know what race was there for testing, but the new pavement was starting to come up and was like breaking. Not good. And Denny Hamlin quote tweeted it saying, "Well, it's just another SMI thing." And he says North Wilkesboro's probably their repave as well. North Wilkesboro just repaved. Their repave's probably going to fail in some way next. And you can go back to previous SMI reworks. It's like Atlanta, although Atlanta's kind of good, no one asked for that.
Yeah, no one
And
asked for it. And it
you
could
can
have
look at,
easily been really bad. Like, I
yeah,
feel like they got
easy.
lucky.
But you look at Texas, that's kind of
They
just a
butchered that
disaster.
track.
They changed Bristol for no reason.
And yeah, back in the day.
And Charlotte, when they did that repave, it just never really
Yeah.
wore.
I didn't know about that. Like, I didn't know that Charlotte had a lot of drama with the repave, and apparently that's why there's a bunch of crashes in like that first 600, I believe, in 2005 on the
Mhm.
repave. I guess I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I
Yeah.
learned a lot this week on twitter.com or x.com.
Levigation,
But
is that the word of the week? Levigation.
yeah. I
Yeah,
still don't know what it means. I looked it up, but I still don't know.
I still don't know either. They did it at Indy too, I think, and that kind of caused problems
Yeah.
with F1 when they went there.
But so that Denny Hamlin and Marcus Smith, they went back and forth. Oh, by the way, Kentucky's another SMI weird failure, saying that was gonna be the biggest NASCAR race on the calendar, even bigger than Daytona. That was a thing that
Yeah,
happened as
and
well.
then no one could get into the stadium to watch the race the
Yep.
first year.
But Marcus Smith replied to Denny basically saying that he shouldn't be talking because he's never won a championship. It got weird in my
Yeah,
opinion.
and then
I don't think it's
Denny responded saying that, you're gonna ruin your dad's company legacy because
yeah.
Marcus Smith, Bruton Smith, his father was the CEO of SMI before, and then Marcus Smith said again, "Well, that's why you don't have a championship. That's why you don't have a championship."
Literally all he had to say, and other people said this, was like, "Well, our restart zones paved nice and fresh for you," or whatever, like just before it. Like that's all he had to say, and it would have
That's
been
all
funny.
he had to say. That would have been so funny. He would have
It
won
really
that
would
so
have.
quick. Denny would have
And
been
then
ate up.
he
Denny,
would
I would
have.
have I would have not been a Denny Hamlin fan anymore. I would have been an SMI fan. I would have been going to Texas next week. I would have been eating that up.
Like imagine Texas Motor Speedway, they put that argument's going on and they jump in and is like, "Hey Denny, this pavement right before the start finish or the restart zone, it's ready for you." Like it would have been funny, but missed opportunity. But I don't think this is as big of a deal as people are making out to be. It's definitely news. Like it's a NASCAR Cup driver and a track owner, you know, beefing it out. Like that's kind of crazy. But I feel like it's a bit overblown, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But still very interesting that Denny Hamlin just kind of
I'll tell you what.
publicly saying all this. But he says a lot of things publicly
There
nowadays.
was definitely alcohol involved in this. They
On
were,
which
but it's
side?
1
Both.
a.m. They're both drunk. Denny was drinking because his feelings were hurt about him jumping the restart zone, right?
Mm.
And probably about because his 2311 pit crew sucks. And then Marcus was drinking because, well, his company sucks. their, their fresh repave is coming up. Um,
Yeah.
which apparently, and then the teardown and even Denny got really into like what the difference is with SMI's repaves versus what NASCAR normally does for their tracks. Like when they repaved Kansas, I guess when they repaved Michigan, what other tracks like Talladega back in the day. How NASCAR actually goes in and does it right. They don't just
Yeah.
like lay something on top of what was already there. They actually tear everything up and do it right. So
Hmm.
yeah. While I don't like, people have said that wasn't a good look for the sport. I disagree. That was great. I'm
Yeah.
entertained.
It
That
was
was
funny.
great. It was funny. I mean, I don't really see how that,
See,
if
that's why I
anything,
don't think it's as big of a deal as it people are making it out to be because
no.
like no one outside of the NASCAR circle is going to know this happened. That's why I don't think it's like bad for the sport because no
Yeah.
one outside of our circle knows that happened.
And hell, I think some pressure probably needs to get put on SMI. I mean, apparently they're holding up some of the negotiations with the charter deal. I hear. So put some pressure on them, Denny. Go. I love Denny Hamlin. I love him.
Hmm.
He is the best person for the sport. You can't argue that. Like
Yeah,
he's
he
he's
speaks his
like
mind.
today's Dale Jr., but in the most backwards way possible.
Yeah,
Like kind
because
of.
Dale never really spoke out a lot while he was a driver. Dale spoke out more after his driving career was done. And now Denny's doing it while he's still a driver, and we
I feel like
really need
Denny's the
that.
most.
And also, we lost Tony Stewart, who would always,
Yeah.
be very outspoken like that. We need a personality like that, and Denny's kind of picked up that role, and we
It's
need
like
it.
the influence to me. Like Dale Jr. had influence because he was Dale Jr. and the little that he would say, people would latch onto it, right? And now he's
Yeah,
more embraced it. Denny has made this platform for himself on his
yeah,
podcast. And that's kind of just made it. And the Netflix show has just boosted that, right? So
yeah.
now Denny's the most influential NASCAR driver, plus the fact that he's a veteran. Like,
Yep,
I think
and
he's,
a team owner.
and a team owner, right? Like you can't name anyone more influential. And he's
Yep.
successful. He wins races. Like so he does everything. He's just everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That was a good tea.
we're gonna shift over here in the T, staying on the NASCAR side of things, but real quick, this relates to it. The IndyCar Long Beach story, we talked about it in an episode we did with Elizabeth Blackstock. Highly recommend you check that out. That was such a fun
It
chat with
was.
Elizabeth. We recorded that right after the news that NASCAR was trying to get a 50-50 stake in Long Beach Grand Prix. That, of course, we found out was not going to happen. The other 50% owner is buying the whole thing out. It'll stay an IndyCar event, right? We talked about it then. You can go check that out if you want to hear our initial thoughts on that. But now, NASCAR is still seeking a race in Southern California for 2025. It sounds like the LA Coliseum is not happening. And then Fontana, that has still not been touched. Basically, they've demolished everything but the parts they would use for the short track. The company that bought it is going to start building up buildings on the old Fontana land, like where the backstretch used to be and everything. And
That
now
makes me so
NASCAR's lost
sad.
out.
God, that
NASCAR's
makes me
lost out
sad.
on getting the Long Beach Grand Prix, so they're not going to be there. They have IMSA there, so maybe they can make a deal with IndyCar and whatever, and do a different weekend or something. But they're not going to get the specific Long Beach Grand Prix weekend.
Yeah. Because it's also a street course, and that's a lot of money to get that city to be like, okay, for a second weekend of the year, we will completely shut down these streets. Like
Yep.
so
So Chris
I think that,
Myers, Fox
yeah.
Sports' Chris Myers made a tweet, and he does this a lot. We've mentioned him sometimes in the T. He'll just
He's
like
making a
tweet stuff
lot
out.
of like
It, I
I
think
thought he
he's who
was
broke the LA Coliseum. I think he's who broke
I
that.
thought he was just chilling at his house every week, and then on Sunday he just pops up at the track and is like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm Chris Myers." Like, I
But
have notes.
he posted on Twitter that one, he doesn't expect to be an Easter race next year. He's like, don't expect an Easter race in 2025. But the main thing he said was that we can expect a race in Southern California next year. but it's at an undetermined location. So Fontana's not
What does
happening
that mean?
unless they like very quickly do that, which
What are the
not
options?
happening. And there was a report. We haven't talked about it yet, and I kind of saved it until we got more information. I guess this is a good time to do it. Uh, the Dodgers Stadium, which is the Los Angeles baseball team, they
Baseball.
have, yeah, that's what I said, baseball.
Yeah, no, no, keep going. Keep going. I know.
But they have discussed with NASCAR about possibly having a race there. So it'd be a similar kind of event to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. And to me, it's like, why don't you just stay at the LA Coliseum? Why are you switching giant venues like this? If that's what they do. I don't know if I like that because that track will probably end up being like a triangle.
A
And I feel like
diamond.
that's just
It'll be
a
a diamond.
diamond, maybe.
It'll be a diamond. Like a
Oh,
yeah,
baseball diamond.
because it's a base. It's a diamond. That's why I said baseball.
Yeah.
The most unique shape of any stadium in sports. Like, what are we doing? Why are we
So-
racing in a diamond? Like,
So my question is, since Long Beach probably isn't happening for NASCAR at all, does that mean the Dodgers thing is like they're gonna go full in on that now? Or what's the plan? Like I'm a little confused because the only other option that I can think of was Irwindale Speedway. But I
that's
don't
the
think that's
only
like
thing
a
that's coming
NASCAR
to my
Cup.
mind.
I don't think that's a NASCAR Cup ready track.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
So
we going to Willow Springs? Like, I don't know exactly where we're supposed to be going in Southern California because, like, I don't know what the options are. So, like, what does that mean?
yeah.
Like,
Like obviously they were eyeing Long Beach. We know that now. But I feel like it's either the LA Coliseum again, but Chris Myers says he doesn't think it'll be that. It'll just be an undetermined
where's
location.
Laguna
in
Seca?
LA.
Isn't that Northern California?
I think so. That's a good question. Is Laguna Seca
Monterey.
down
Where
there?
the hell is Monterey, California? I'm looking it up.
Live research on the Gay Racing Podcast.
WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Jesus, California is. Oh, that's mid California.
Okay,
That's
so yeah,
mid.
not Laguna Seca. Unless that counts as southern, but I wouldn't.
I don't
say it
think
does.
so. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. Again, what?
So-
Again, I'm so curious what he means by that because
Yeah,
I feel like the Dodger Stadium or something like that is the most likely.
that's
but
the only report we've heard of besides Long Beach, but that's kind of done now.
I need Jordan Bianchi to lock in and find out what this is.
Oh, I'm sure he's locked in. I'm
Oh
sure
my
he
God.
is.
He needs to because this is driving me crazy.
So yeah, that's gonna be something we'll keep following. And on the IndyCar side of things, they did get a net dedicated owner who is going to keep 100% Long Beach on their side. And my God, did they need that? They needed some good news. So
Some good
if
for us.
IndyCar lost that stake at Long Beach, that's their second biggest race. It would have been a disaster. Again, we talked about that with Elizabeth Blackstock. Go check out that episode. It was great. But staying on IndyCar, they are in deep TV negotiations with both NBC and Fox right now. It sounds like they're down to just those two. Initially, we had said Apple they were talking to, maybe the CW, which I wouldn't rule that out still. That wasn't in the latest report from the Indy Star, but it sounds like it's just NBC and Fox. But NBC is apparently offering slightly more money. I believe it's around $5 million more than what they currently pay than their current deal for more NBC races. Meanwhile, Fox is offering majority of races on either FS1 or FS2 with a couple on Fox. Not good. For a lot more money.
That's
Because
weird.
they're seeking to fill the Memorial Day weekend slot because they're losing the Coke 600 next year. Not confirmed yet, but I keep hearing that.
Oh, that makes sense.
We have
So they
said that quite a lot
really-
now. Yeah.
So that's all just to get the Indy 500.
Yeah. I think
They don't care about the rest of the IndyCar schedule, probably. They just
No.
really want the Indy. Oh my God, that's bad.
that's my assumption.
That's bad because that makes sense. If
Yep.
to fill up the Memorial Day, I didn't think about that. Oh, that's bad. Oh, we can't
Yeah.
do this. No,
And
ma'am.
again, that is like an assumption on my part, but that's how I read this article is that Fox wants to put most of the races on FS1 or FS2. Who has
FS2?
FS2?
Oh, no,
No
no,
one has
friend.
that.
No, we don't put the biggest open wheel series on FS2. No, that's not very nice. No, no, no,
Yeah.
friend. We don't do
If you
that.
if you thought viewership was bad for a lot of these races on big NBC, just wait till it's on FS2.
There's
It-
going to be a consequence if we do this. So I'm letting you make a good
Roger,
choice, IndyCar. I
Roger,
need
I
you to
need you
make
to
a
make
good
good
choice.
choices.
I need you to make good choices. That would make me really sad if you put IndyCar on FS2.
But
We're going to
it's
be watching Barber Motorsports Park on FS2 while NASCAR's at
literally.
Talladega the
Yep.
same day. Oh my God. Wait,
So yeah. Yeah.
wait, maybe that will make NASCAR and IndyCar actually cooperate with schedules. Wait. Let them cook.
But I don't know if it would because when they're on NBC, they
Yeah,
already conflict sometimes.
you're right.
So,
We're screwed. We're screwed. I might need the crying towel. We're so screwed. I'm so screwed.
to me, it's a no-brainer. You just go with NBC. Like, yeah, it's around the same amount of money, but they're going to give you 5 million more a season, is what that report said.
You need to grow your sport, bro.
Like, if
I get money
you're
talks, but
not
you need to grow your
sure,
sport.
you'll get money from Fox, but they're not going to do anything to care about you.
They're
They're
gonna turn
gonna.
Joseph Newgarden into a cartoon. Like what?
Ooh.
What are we doing?
Can you imagine the Indy 500 being called by Jamie Little?
Who would call the Indy 500?
Now, that's another thing that was in this article. They said that Alan Bestwick was also a possible option if Fox does get it. That doesn't mean Alan Bestwick would sign. They probably haven't actually talked to him yet.
I know
But that means
Alan's
that
probably reading that like that's news to me.
yeah, exactly. But it sounds like if it
Sit
goes
on
to
that damn
Fox, that
beach.
the lead commentator would either be Jamie Little or Alan Bestwick. But again, that's
No,
probably
you're
who
joking,
they
right?
want.
They did not say Jamie Little.
That's
No,
what
you're
the article
joking.
says.
That's funny,
That's-
Alex. You're funny. She was
it would-
making up stuff in the truck, but they were passing tequila shots around in the FS1 booth, and she said that Cam Waters' truck looked like Ken Block, and apparently it did not.
I want to hear Jamie Little say Romain Grosjean. I do not want to hear that actually, but like
I don't. That makes
for
one of us, 'cause
science,
I don't.
for science, I'd like to hear it. But
I'm about to have a
yeah,
mental breakdown.
yeah.
I'm at my limit. I can't.
So take that as you will. We'll see what ends up happening. If I'm IndyCar, I'm like, Fox, no, go away. I'm going with NBC. But
IndyCar needs to be like the popular girls when they're like, ew, no, get away.
you can't
Like,
sit here. No.
you can't sit here. No.
Yeah.
Girl,
Not
Lee
good.
Diffie has a family to feed. Y'all need to. Hey, wait, Lee Diffie worked with Fox before when he did speed stuff. Wait, he could go back.
That's true, but it sounds like Lee is big on
Oh, right,
NBC,
no, he's
very big
he's
on
doing
Lee because he's
NBC.
going to do the
Yeah,
Cup races.
I
So,
forgot.
yeah.
I forgot about that. Never mind. You're right. We're
Yep.
screwed.
That's going to be something to watch. And
Screwed.
at the end of the article, the Indy Star article, again, check it out. It's by Nathan Brown.
Dude.
For all the context, it does say like he was speculating. He didn't say anything. He said if they sign with Fox, a good time to do it would be at the Long Beach weekend because that is where Fox's headquarters is in Los Angeles. I hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey. I'm about to become a Formula One fan again. Oh, Jesus. Lord have mercy. I'm
Yeah.
watching. All right. I'm watching F1 now. I'm done. I'm out.
All right.
Peace.
Well, we'll keep you all updated on that in the next and future versions of the T. But now it's time for Gay Racing Podcast Fantasy, where
Dude.
Zach, you got 3 wins in a row. Well, not wins, but you beat me 3.
I should have gotten 2 wins in a row these last 2 weeks, like 2 wins, but it's all right. I'm not salty about it. I haven't gotten a 3-way streak since last summer, and that was the only time I did that last year. I have not gotten 3 streaks alike because I knew this felt weird because anytime I got any kind of momentum, you were able to break it. And I've
Yeah.
been chipping away at this. I'm 2 points away, making up that deficit of that advantage that you got when you picked Denny to win Bristol. So yeah, our fantasy game is intense as ever. And um, since we're on this new restream thing, we are able to kind of do something a little bit different where I'm going to now share my screen. I have a little doc pulled up. And as you can see, if you're watching us on video, me and Alex, instead of pulling up pictures up on our phone and showing the camera, that doesn't work anyways. We're gonna paste our pictures onto this Google Doc, okay, in our
Yes.
little chart. So I have my pick ready, Alex, for Texas. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm
All
ready.
right.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna count us down. 3, 2, 1. I'm pasting. I'm going for. Are you pasting? I don't see it yet.
I
Oh,
pasted. Oh, it's
okay,
loading.
I
There
see.
it
So we
goes.
both picked Kyle Larson. I kind of saw that coming, to be honest.
Yeah,
So
me too.
we have to go back to the drawing board with that one. Shoot, where's my tab? There we go. You can't see my pictures, right? It's just yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. I didn't want to spoil myself. All right.
All right. I got my second pick.
I
Hopefully it
also
loads faster this time.
I know. I was so disappointed. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm trying to pick
Let's.
William Byron, and Alex is also trying to pick William Byron, and I kind of knew you were going to do that as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
now I got to decide between. I don't know who I want to put for my third pick. I'm deciding between two people. So let me make a decision.
I got my third. I don't know if I have a fourth pick, but
I do.
I'm
I do have
ready.
a fourth pick. I'm copying it right now. All right, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Pasting. I'm trying to
Loading.
pick Denny Hamlin, and Alex is picking Bubba Wallace. All right.
Bubba Wallace.
You know what's crazy? I was about to just pick Tyler Reddick, so we would have swept 23-11. That would have been another teammate sweep for us if we did that.
Yeah, would have.
But no. All right. Bubba.
So
hey, he was really good here last year.
He was. He almost won, and he's been really good. He finished fourth at Martinsville, right? Because he's getting better. He really is getting better every single week, I feel. And I feel like another win for him is just due at any week at this point. And Kansas is coming up. That's going to be a good track for him as well. But yeah, I'm going Bubba. He was my second pick originally, but then when you took Larson as well, we tied there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to block you on Byron's. That's probably where you're going to go. But
you didn't even want Byron. You are a whole.
Not really.
You are mean. You are mean.
Yeah, I'm trying to win.
Listen,
I'm on a 3-week losing streak here. I got to get back in it.
And you were talking trash to me off camera about how when was the last time you won a fantasy championship? Girl, when was the last time you won a race?
When was the last time you won a championship, though? When was it?
What?
Let's ask the audience.
2024. Watch it. I'm coming for you, Alex.
Okay.
You know what the difference
I'll see
was
it when
between...
I'll believe when I see it.
Do you want to know why I picked Denny over Tyler Reddick?
Why?
Pit crew.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
I don't trust that. As soon as I picked that 45... Well, hell. The 11 team, they have a second slower stop when I picked them in Martinsville, of course.
And that's also a problem with the 23, is that the pit crew could be a problem.
But it's okay. Denny will also, because I picked him, they will also have a slow stop, so it all evens out. So this should be pretty close.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Close.
This will be fun.
That's a good pick. I thought about Bubba too. I'm in the mentality of I want wins, and I just feel like the 23 car does not get wins consistently enough. That's why I didn't want to pick him.
Fair.
That's kind of also why I didn't pick Reddick. Because I'm like, I feel like Denny could go out and win Texas. I mean, hell, look at the last 4 weeks. Byron and Hamlin and Byron and Hamlin have been trading, taking turns.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They've been taking turns. So it's Denny's turn.
And I do think it's either going to be a Hendrick or a Gibbs /2311 car.
Yeah.
But if not, I wouldn't count out one Penske car. I don't know if it'd be Blaney or Logano.
Blaney.
Probably
It would
Blaney.
be Blaney. It would be Blaney 100%.
There's
I don't
been
think
one
Logano's
Penske car that's good week in, week out, because Logano was good the last 2 weeks. So
yeah. And Blaney's fourth in points right now, the only Ford in the top 12 in points. I mean, he's clearly just above. Yes, Logano's on a bit of a hot streak right now, but
Yeah.
he kind of struggled a little bit at Vegas. Like, they definitely have speed, like qualifying
Mhm.
speed at the intermediates. I mean, this is just off of Vegas, but I don't know if, I don't know if the handle is going to be there in the race. I will
Yeah.
say, watch Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is on a roll right now. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just coming off 2 top 5 finishes, and
I think once he gets a win, he'll be back. Like, he's gonna
he'll
start
be
getting them
back.
consistently
Yeah,
again.
because he's
It's
also.
just
I
right
mean,
now, I don't wanna predict when his first win will be, you
yeah,
know?
me neither.
Like, he probably would've been my 3rd pick if he was, like, back, you know? Like,
Right.
just right now, I don't trust him yet because I feel like he could totally run out there and just run 15th all day, be a non-factor.
Yeah, I can kind of get with that. So yeah, I mean, that's so what not Byron. Sorry, Jesus, Bubba and Denny. Go
Yep.
Texas.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a
I
fun
didn't
one.
even mention that Denny pit call thing that everyone was roasting Chris Gabehart about.
Oh, yeah. I
What was
was
your
giving you
opinion?
crap about it, when we were texting each other during the race. I didn't get it because he even lost a spot, but it's you can't pass. I think maybe he was expecting a lot of overtime cautions
Yeah,
and that
which was
the other
fair to
guys would
think.
have to pit eventually. And also, when you and I were texting about it, I came to the conclusion, like, well, he already has wins. He's in the playoffs. So, like,
The gamble's
risking
not.
this isn't
Yeah,
a big deal. So I don't think it's as big of a L as some would say. Uh, it's whatever. He didn't hurt him much.
yeah. I think
And
at the end of the day,
I
it's fine.
I do think this was him removing himself from the conversation of restart drama. He's like, I did enough last week.
No, he should have stayed up there, and man, he should have punted Chase Elliott right out of the way, ruined that Hendrick, hold that whole Hendrick
Oh,
story 2012
he should have
version.
did he should have did what Newman and Boyer did in 2012
Yeah,
to Hendrick. That would have been
God,
hilarious.
that would have been even a cooler story because that the heartbreak. Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been
Oh.
cool. But
Yep.
NASCAR's rigged, so
Yep.
yeah. Well, I think that's all we got to talk about today. Which
Yeah.
I feel like we're missing something, but yeah, no, I mean nothing much. Well, we only talked about like just NASCAR because IndyCar's sleeping.
Yep. They're in hibernation. The
Yeah,
IndyCar is going to have a open test for Indy 500 this week, but the forecast looks kind of rough, so I don't know if that'll end up happening or not. But that is this week on Peacock if you're looking to watch
open
something.
tests. That does, like Larson's not going to be there, will he? Or
I don't
will
know.
I don't know.
I don't I don't know. Maybe.
Because it's not a rookie test, is it? I don't know.
I couldn't
Because
tell you.
doesn't he
I
have to
haven't
go through rookie testing first?
He's already done
He's
that.
already done that.
Yeah.
I guess so. Okay.
Yeah, his like private practice session they had for him, he already completed it.
Okay.
So,
All
I don't
right.
know.
Well,
I haven't been following it. I just finished moving. That's why my background
yeah,
looks
you've been
different and
busy.
everything. So
Did
I've
you
been
change your
busy.
background at all? No, there's still
No, there's.
from
I
what we
guess
talked
for
about.
our viewers, people on video, it's different now.
You
But
know.
from when you first saw it, no, I haven't changed it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it then. Do we have any new Apple? No new Apple reviews?
No new Apple reviews. I'm
Oh,
sorry, Zach.
okay. Maybe someone listening will leave an Apple review.
Yeah, well, if you don't want to make Zach cry, you can leave a 5-star Apple review written on Apple Podcasts, and we'll read it right here. You can also leave 5 stars on Spotify. That helps a lot as well. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of the episode. You can follow us on socials at Gay Racing Pod, at Newgaden for me, and at Dreamy Zach Racing for Zach.
Yep. Yep. Pretty cool. All
Yep.
right, and thank you guys for supporting. Again, thank you guys for supporting us on Patreon. You were able to
Thank you
give us
so much.
this nice and shiny look, and Alex gets to sound nice. And we're gonna do more with this too. This was the first episode playing around with it. Um, I'm gonna add some little bells and whistles, up here and down here, and maybe we'll even get up close and personal at some point. That's kind of why I don't want to do this, because I want space for the overlay, like the at Gay
Yeah.
Racing Pod cat pod somewhere. So, anyways,
Right.
we'll talk about that off camera. But Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Alex, for coming back to the Gay Racing Podcast. I wasn't alone this week.
You had to bring the 50% gay back because you took it off last week, but then the vibes were just off.
The vibes were place. We had to make a compromise. The gay had to come back. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.